నమో నమః. శుభోదయం అందరికీ నమస్కారములు. Today is another good day for all of us, that we have another day on Dharma Sukshmalu in Mahabharata. Day before yesterday we have a little introduction to Mahabharatam, and yesterday we have seen some Dharma Sukshmalu with the help of some short stories, question answer way of discussing. Today and tomorrow, I think this is for 5 days, and the 3 days we have in learning Mahabharatam. So let us start the session with Vande Mataram, and then Prarthana, and then we will go ahead with webinar. Prakash Garu, can you chant Vande Mataram?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam, Sufalam, Malayaja Sitalam, Sasya Syamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram. Suprajosna pulakitayaminim pullakusumitadrumadala sovinim suhasinim sumadurabhashinim sukadam varadam mataram vande mataram vande mataram వందే మాతరం. ధన్యవాదములు సార్.
వందే మాతరం. ధన్యవాదాలు. Let us request Anantanji to do Prarthana, and also request all of you to do Prarthana.
Hari Om. 1 minute meditation. Let us close our eyes. Relax our body. Sit erect. Total concentration on breath. गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् महागणपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु वाग्देव्यै नमः। गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे। न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्य कृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।
Dhanyavadah, Anantanji. So now let us request Nagaraja Rao garu to start the webinar, please.
वरदरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्याये सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Shubhodayam. Good morning to all of you. Today is a third day which I am coming again. The subject matter is Mahabharata, the traditional values and also Dharma Sushmatas. This is the subject matter. Yesterday we discussed a few stories. Mahabharata, in order to understand Mahabharata, we need to go deep into the Mahabharata and also try to understand. Different stories are only for the purpose of case studies only. There are certain parvas in Mahabharata like Anushashanika Parva, Stri Parva, Shanti Parva. In those places, the direct dictums are given down, like Vedic dictums, like it are Vedanta, whatever Vedanta is there, Upanishad dictums. So they will be telling about the certain dictum, you follow this one. This type of things we will come across in these places. But normally what will happen is, we just go through that particular paragraphs and we skip over the important significance. So that is the reason why it is itihasa, as I told in the first lecture, it is an itihasa wherein the very purpose of this Mahabharata, Ramayana is that the message of Vedas, Vedanta, Upanishads and all these things are to be spread across to the common people. And there are few people, maybe some hundreds years back, who were knowing all the 100 shlokas. Even now also I have seen some persons, particularly, even now also they are living, or the living legends, what we can call. Shalak Raghunath Sharma sir, is, if we talk to him, he will be telling the each and every poem of this three Kavitraya Mahabharata. Whatever poem you will ask, he will be quoting the poem and he will be telling the subject matter. So that was a greatness. Because there are some people who have studied Mahabharata in the childhood itself from the beginning to last. But there are some majority of the people, maybe I can say that even 95% of the people don't read Mahabharata. Even if they read also, they will be knowing only the stories of Mahabharata from the films only. So here the films and all the places, if we begin to see, you will be missing the essence of the subject matter. What is why Mahabharata is written, why Ramayana is written, is the very purpose is you need to understand whatever that is consisting of in Vedas. That is the idea. Or our traditional values, systems and all this is we need to learn. For this we need to rely on stories only again and again, because the stories are case studies, as I told earlier. They are case studies for each and every subject matter. So today I will be taking up again two case studies of that nature. Maybe a little known story today. The story is, one is Angaraparna stories, one is Chavanam Maharshi's story. Maybe how many of you know? I don't know, because there is no. At least is it possible to raise the hands? Angara Parna story. How many of you know? And I think everybody has muted. No, no problem. No issue. We can proceed to the subject only, as usual.
They can raise their hand, whoever knows it. Yeah, now Sita Mahalakshmi Garu has raised her hand.
Angara
I think
Parna
she knows
story,
it.
and also maybe Sita Mahalakshmi.
Unmute her, unmute her.
Because some people may be knowing it. Some people might have heard of it, and some people may not be knowing it, whatever it may be. But thing is that even if you know the story, what is the story that normally we read in for the purpose of children? That is something different, and what is there in the story, inbuilt story. There's some traditional values we find across in this particular story. Today, more than Dharma Sushmatas, I would like to tell about some traditional values. Even after 5,000 years of our civilization, still we are following certain cultures. That is why only Mahabharata we say that our cultural and dharmic roots are embedded in Mahabharata. That is the reason why we are studying Mahabharata even now also. There are certain things which they followed in those days, which we are now following even now also. For that matter, Ramayana is there, the Sita Rama Kalyanam is there, and whatever mantras they pronounce at that time, even now in marriages we are pronouncing all those mantras, and we are also following all those same procedures and all this. Hence we are following. Similarly, Mahabharata we come across 2 or 3 things we come across today. Those things even now also we are following. Some people are following. Some people, of course, partially following. Some people have neglected it. Some people have forgotten it. Anyway, that is a issue here. Let us see what are this Angara Parna story. Angara Parna story we come across in Adi Parva of Mahabharata. Particularly when it comes is that Bakasura Vadha takes place. When Bakasura Vadha takes place, Pandavas were there in Ekachakrapuram at that time. Vedavyasa comes there and he will be advising, because you need to go from now to Panchala Desha, where Drupada Maharaja has announced that Swayamvaram for Draupadi. So you need to move on. Then he tells the story of Draupadi also. Briefly he tells there. Thing is, there is one lady was there, she was asking for pati, 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 like that 5 times. That simple story he will be telling, and then he will be telling that you move on to Panchala. And Pandavas, taking his advice, they were moving towards Panchala Desha from Ekachakrapuram. When they were moving, they were also in a hurry to go. Because Swayamvaram the dates are already announced, and they need to reach the Panchala Desha before that time. And those days they were walking only because they were in the guise of Brahmins. They were not actually Kshatriyas, they were not going like that, because they were also afraid of the Kauravas' strength at the time. Because Kauravas have put them in Lakshagruha, and Lakshagruha fire and all these things we know. Lakshagruha fire took place, and subsequently they moved to one forest wherein Bhima has killed Hidimbasara, and then they moved like that. Because if they come out, what will happen is that Prachanna Agnatavasa, if you can tell like that, when they were there like that, they imposed Agnatavasa on their own at the time when they were moving. Because if they come out, what will happen, they don't know. Because they have to gain the strength, and until they gain the strength, their identity should not be revealed. That is the reason. Even Mahabharata, when they come out again as Dharmaraja, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, is only when they got married with Draupadi and they got the strength from their uncle, paternal uncle, that is Drupada. Not maternal uncle, that is father-in-law. When they got that power, and then they disclosed their identity, at that time it was known to the public that they were still living. So now at this present stage, they imposed upon themselves the Prachanna Agnatavasa, and they were moving like that. This is the background of the story. When they were moving in a forest. Kunti was also following. It was almost dark, Sandhya Samayam. In the Sandhya Samayam, Arjuna felt that this Kagada means that is fire stick. Fire stick, what we can call in English, I don't know, because Kagada, what we can call Kagada means a big fire stick like that or thing. He was holding it, and he was moving on like that, so that in the light all others can follow. He was going like that. And again, there again Dharmaraja, Nakula, Sahadeva, and then back Kunti, and over that back Bhimasena, because Bhimasena was protecting from the back, and Arjuna was a torch. Somebody has put it a torch. Torch like what? Torch means something of with fire and all these things. He was moving like that. When he was moving like that, what happened was that it was Sandhya Samayam. So what is normally Sandhya Samayam? Sandhya Samayam is not meant for the purpose of normal human beings. It is meant for Siddhas, Yakshas, Gandharvas, and Asuras. These persons will be walking in that time. What is Sandhya Samayam for human beings like us? It is at that time we are supposed to do Pradosha Puja. We have to venerate Shiva, and this is our tradition and culture. Even now, also we are following. So the Chitra, that Gandharva, there was one Gandharva in that forest. The Gandharva, he was there with his all his ladies, and they were taking bath in the one of the lakes. He heard the sound of Pandavas coming from some direction, and he came out and he saw 5 people were walking like that, and there was one lady was also there. Then he stopped them. You are not supposed to come here, because this is I am Angaraparna. My name is Angaraparna. I am a Gandharva, and again I am a friend of Kubera. He was telling about himself, because Kubera was a great personality, and if anybody, nobody can dare to attack that Gandharva who is close to Kubera. And you are not supposed to Ganga water now. He was also giving the reasoning. The reasoning is that it is a Sandhya Samaya. In the Sandhya Samaya, no human being should dare to come here. No human being should dare to walk through this forest, and no human being should dare to touch the Ganga water. This is how he told. Then Arjuna also got wild, and he was telling, what you are telling is for the normal human beings. But we are not the normal human beings. What you are telling, no, Siddha, Gandharva, Yaksha, all those persons we can suppress with our physical power. We are having that power. And one more thing I can tell you. Thing is that normal human beings may fear on seeing Gandharvas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, and all these persons. But we are not of that type. We are the persons having the strength, boldness, courage, and all these things, and we will move on. Second aspect is that you are asking us not to touch Ganga water at this time. But here, I can tell you one thing. Thing is that here, Ganga is a Mata. Ganga is our mother. When for going towards mother, you can go whether by eating or not eating. Or you can go morning or evening. You can go in the night or whatever time that is there, whichever time is there. There is no time restriction is there for touching the great waters of Ganga. So we are moving like that. So we move only. We don't stop here like that. Then the Gandharva got wild. The Gandharva got wild, and he told, then you may have to face my arrows. Then he came down and he was putting arrows over Pandavas. And Pandavas, then he was holding that big torch. He was holding with the big torch only. He dispelled whatever arrows that are coming towards him. And then Arjuna told, you are putting all the nonsense, small arrows you are putting. I will be putting only one arrow only against you. And then he took out his Agneya Astra and he put it in the Agneya Astra. In no time, what happened is that the entire chariot of that Gandharva was scorched into the fire, and it reduced into ashes. When it was reduced into ashes, the Gandharva, he was actually helpless. He was just falling on that place. Arjuna came to that place with all his might. He held his hair and dragged him to the place of Dharmaraja and put him on the feet of Dharmaraja. Dharmaraja, then at that time he was at the mercy of Dharmaraja. Then immediately the Gandharva's wife, Kumpinasa, one lady is there. She came running to that place and she was requesting Saranagati. Saranagata Vatsalata. Saranagata Vatsalata was there from the beginning to now, so many years. Because of Saranagata Vatsalata only, maybe during the medieval period, so many kings of India, they lost what is called when foreigners are coming inside India and they were invading India. Maybe I think, but there is a strength or weakness, we don't know. It is our spiritual strength, what we can call. But sometimes what will happen, because the person who is coming again and again invading, whenever it tells Saranagati, we are giving them a case, your Saranagata Vatsalata is there for us and we are leaving you like that. But those persons are not of that nature. because it is this type of principles, Saranagata Vatsalata, whatever it may be, and treating all the persons equal and all this is will apply only to the persons who are having the same bent of mind only, please. That is the truth we have to understand, which we maybe that principle was neglected earlier. That is the reason why you come across the history of India. Whenever you come across the history of India, the great invaders who came to India, whenever they were very weak, they were actually raising their hand and telling that we are Sharanagata Vasalata, and these people are leaving. And subsequently, they gain power and they were again coming and invading and they were reducing our kings into what is called, they were giving, they were taking away the princess and they were taking away the kingdoms. This happened in the history of India. But here anyway, Dharmaraja at those time, all the persons of that nature, because Dharma was there in all the places. That is the reason why he told yes. Kumbhinasa came and requested for Sharanagata Vasalastha. He told yes, I am giving you the what is called blessings I am giving, and this man can be free, like that. He asked Arjuna, please leave him, like that. Then Arjuna told, this is when my brother is telling, because my brother is the person who can rule the entire three lokas. To that extent, his capacity is there. That man, because of some reason, we are moving like that. He is a Chakravarti nature. He is qualities of Chakravarti. He has promised. That is why I am leaving you, like that. Here again, what we can say is that Arjuna is not taking the decision on his own. He is bringing, Arjuna is the person who fought with the Chitra, the Angaraparna, and brought him here and put him on the place of Dharmaraja's feet. And again, the simplicity of Arjuna is that he is again following the dictums of elder person only. The respect for elders was there in earlier days, because head of the family, if he tells something, other persons normally they used to follow the advice. That is the idea here. Not normally, always they were following the advice, because that is the reason why throughout Mahabharata we come across Bhima is a great character. He's a warrior type of person, and he is having thousands of elephants strength he was having, and he was also impetuous and also an angry person, something of that nature. In spite of that, he was a very matured person. Lot of knowledge, Vedic knowledge he was having, and he was having equanimity of mind. Sometimes even Dharmaraja was failing in his intellect, he was advising him. To that extent he was there, even that personality also. Whatever ultimately Dharmaraja does, he follows. That is the reason why when Dharmaraja was putting all those persons into bed, he was putting one after another. Now I am putting Bhimasena, now I am putting Arjuna, whatever it may be, all the persons were just following the dictums of Dharmaraja. That is how it was going on. That was a respect that is being given to Dharmaraja, the elder person. Here also same thing happened. Arjuna comes there and he will be telling that yes, my brother is telling, I am leaving you, like that. Then he was released from the bondage. Then the Angaraparna came to Arjuna and he was telling, you have given me the Pranaviksha you have given. Because you have given Pranaviksha, I wanted to give you one Vidya. One Vidya means one great knowledge I am having. That is called Chakshushi Vidya I am having. This Chakshushi, by virtue of this Chakshushi Vidya, you can see an object in all the three lokas, whichever loka, whatever that is, but whichever object you would like to see in three lokas at a particular point of time, you can just open your eyes and see what is there in Patalaloka, what is there in Swargaloka, and what is there in Matyaloka at particular point of time. You can see it. This is Chakshushi Vidya I am having. This Vidya I am going to give you. Please take it. Then Arjuna tells him, Angaraparna, what you are telling, I accept. But thing is that you are offering this gift either without love or out of fear or to save your own life. So these are the three things. Now the circumstances under which you are there is you are at our mercy and you have been defeated in the war field and you want to save your life. And because of this reason, you may be giving this Vidya to me, but it may not be out of love. But any Vidya has to be taken from any other person when the other person is willingly giving it. That is why even now also I could recollect the story. Dadati patigrunhati bhungte bhojyate chaiva, like that there is one sloka is there. And then I could not recollect this particular sloka. Thing is that here, if you want to eat in some other person's house or if you want to give some other person's freely food, or if you want to talk something, or if you want to share your secrets, and if you want to do all these things, mitratvam should be there, friendship should be there, or affinity should be there, the closeness should be there. Otherwise, you should not accept it. Sometimes we'll be going to different places. When we go to different places, some people will be offering some gifts. The gifts, the offering of the gift is also, sometimes accepting the gift is also very important. Sometimes you need to accept, and sometimes you need not accept, or you should not accept also. That is the idea that is given down from our traditions. Why? Because what is the purpose he was giving that gift? Normally, you go to some places because, particularly, we will be seeing normally the high dignitaries and all these persons, more gifts will be coming to them. Why more gifts will be coming to them? Because there will be an expectation at the subsequently quid pro quo arrangement will be there. So I am giving this gift, so tomorrow you may do this favor for me, this maybe something of that nature may be there. So that is the reason why normally we have to see the gift that is coming to us, and what intention the gift is coming to us, and is the gift is worth taking or not taking. These type of things also we should think over. All these things Mahabharata teaches us. Here Arjuna is very frankly and emphatically telling that I am not supposed to take the gift that is being offered by you, because I don't know what is your intentions, I don't know why you are giving, I don't know. That type of vidya I don't want. I don't want to take that vidya. Then Gandharva comes down and he was telling Arjuna, it is not like that. I am trying to take your friendship. I am begging, I am seeking mercy, I am taking what I can call. From now onwards, I would like to become your friend only. And if you still hesitate that you don't want to take this vidya from me, I can tell you one thing. Okay, you give me something and I'll give you this Chakshushi vidya. Because out of love only I am giving, not out of or any other nature. Then Arjuna tells, okay, then in that case, I will give you Agnayastra. You take it. This Agnayastra is not a small one. This is actually Bhrigu has given this Agnayastra. Then he tells how it has come down from different personality and up to Agnivesha to Drona, and Drona to Arjuna. Like that, all these events he describes. And this is the greatest one. Take this. And he gives that Astra very happily with Angaraparna. And Angaraparna also gave Chakshushi Vidya to Arjuna. And both became very good friends. And they became good friends. And then, because friends, as I told, it is what sharing of the secrets, giving of something, taking of something, and all these things are from now onwards, it is regularly established. Then on the evening, both Arjuna, other Pandavas, and this Angaraparna, they were sitting together and they were chatting together. When they were chatting together, Arjuna asked one question. Chitraratha, I'm on this Angaraparna, I'm asking you one question. Because now you are my friend. You know that we are the strongest persons. Because our lineage is from Devamsa Shambhutas. And again, we know all the Shastra and Astras and all these things we know. And normally, we can suppress Yakshas, Gandharvas, Rakshasa and all these persons. Still, you try to fight with us. What is the reason? Is there any reason? Is there any defect in our character? So this is introspection, please, because the other person, you're a mighty person. When you are a mighty person, some weak person is coming and attacking you. Then you should think over why is because a weak person can't even imagine to attack a great person. Then in this case, you are attacking us because you by strength or astra laghava and whatever it may be taken into consideration, you can't match with us. But still, you try to attack us. What is the reason? Is there any defect in our character? This is what he wanted to inquire. This introspection is very much required, please. Sometimes, normally many great persons will be missing this one. Why? Because they think that this is Alpa Prani. Alpa Prani we can suppress, leave it like that. But this Alpa Prani, maybe today one Alpa Prani is there, maybe tomorrow many Alpa Pranis may be there who may be coming and attacking you. At the time, you may be a vulnerable in a vulnerable position, that you have to understand. And as and when something is happening across any place, you need to identify that one and you need to correct yourself. This is the idea given here. So you are asking Angaraparna, what is the defect in our character? Then that man was telling, yes, Arjuna, I can tell you one thing. I attacked you for 2 or 3 reasons are there. One is, as I told you, it is a Sandhya Samaya. Sandhya Samaya, the strength is of the Gandharvas will be great. The strength of human beings will not be great at that time. That is one of the reasons. And so, at that time, human beings are supposed to do some sort of punya karyas. It is called worshipping of the god. These type of things only they should do. They should not come out. That is meant for that. Even that is how the time zone is bifurcated among yakshas, rakshasas, and human beings, and all these things. That is one reason. The second reason is that when you are going like that, I observed that you don't have the Tretagnis. You don't have. So there's reasons I will first tell. Tretagnis you are not having. The third thing is that you don't have the Purohit in front. Purohit, all the 3 things are there. Because of this reason, I thought that I would become victorious. And one more thing is also there. Beyond the out of the beyond these 3 reasons. That is my actually the human physical weakness. The human physical weakness is that whenever a person is in the company of woman, normally his ego is inflated. His ego is inflated, and nobody wants to be defeated in the presence of his own wives, his own ladies, because it is demeaning my character. So wife is there in front and somebody is attacking me at the time. If I keep quiet, what will happen? What my wife will think of me? What is my greatness? Everything has gone down. So that is why this is also one of the reasons, because it is actually they are talking in the terms of friendship. So he is telling the secrets also, he is telling out. The psychological setup of a human being was also discussed in Mahabharata, because that is the greatness of this Mahabharata story is such that it discusses all the issues. Sometimes the human frailties, weaknesses, the psychologies, and all these things. And here also he was telling the same thing, because of these reasons. And what are the Tretagnis here? He was telling about the Tretagnis. You should have the Tretagnis. And here that you need to understand what is meant by Tretagni. Tretagni is actually, it is Ahavaniyamu, Garhyapatyamu, and Dakshinagni. These 3 things we need to remember. Why we need to remember is that these are the 3 things which used to be there in the house of each and every traditional family. Of all the Varnas, all the 3 Varnas, it used to be there. Garhyapatya represented father. Anyway, I will share one screen. That would be ideal for you, that you can also see it. So that if you want to see it also, you can see it. 1 minute, I will share it. Where is sharing? It is there here. This one. This one, where is share screen? And this is, I think you can see it, no? Tretagni. The Vedic tradition, the people belonging to 3 Varnas were supposed to possess 3 fires. Manusmriti, there is a good shloka is there. The 3 fires are Garhyapatya, Dakshinagni, and Ahaniya, and they are compared with father, mother, and teacher respectively. They tell Pitavai Garhyapatyogni, Mata Agnir Dakshina Smruta, Mata Agnir Dakshina Smruta, Guru Rahavaniyastu, Sa Agnis Tretagariyasi. Like that it is there. Pita is representing what is called Garhyapatya Agni. Mata is Dakshinagni, and Guru is representing Ahavaniya Agni. And this is the reason why normally traditional people they used to maintain all the 3 Agnis in those days. When they were maintaining these 3 Agnis, they are supposed to carry this Agni even if they are going from one place to other place. Suppose you are there in one village or some place, your place is there. You need to move on to some other village or some other place for some function, marriage or whatever it may be. At the time you are supposed to take these 3 Agnis from this place to that place. Where are these 3 Agnis have come? The 3 Agnis are actually from the Vamsha Paramparya, right? Vamsha Paramparya it will be coming. Your father has handed over to you and you need to hand over to your children. This is the culture it was going on. The Avichinna Agni. Avichinna Agni will be there from the beginning. Maybe long back. Maybe my father, my father's father, forefather, like that. It is handed over down the line and you need to hand over it to some other person. This is the idea. This is the idea of Tretagni. The Tretagni earlier, people used to keep the Tretagni in their houses. All the persons used to keep the Tretagni in their houses. And when they were moving from one place to other place also, they used to carry these 3 Agnis to some other place. And you can ask one question. Suppose Pandavas were there, when Pandavas were going to Virata Raja Asthana in disguise, that is Agnatavasa. At the time, what they should do? Should they carry it? Or should they not carry it? If they carry it, what will happen? Their identity can be known. Because and when Virata Asthana they went there, they went in different ways they went. And Dharmaraja went and he was telling that I am a Kankabhattu and he was a Brahmin, something of that nature. And then Valala Bhimasena was going and he was telling that I belong to the caste of Nalava Jati, that is called 4th caste, that is 4th Varna. Shudra, he was telling. And Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva, they were telling that some other thing they were telling that is called one person is in charge of the horses, one person is in charge of go, that is cows. Like that they were telling and they were moving on. At the time, how to carry this Agnis? There is a procedure for it. When you are moving from one place to other place, or if you want to go to the long distances, maybe in our normal present terminology, if you want to move to USA, Australia, something of that nature for a brief trip, then what you should do? Thing is that here they say that at the time you need to give it to your guru. You need to deposit it with the guru, and from deposit guru you need to take it back. Mahabharata exactly they have done the same thing before leaving that place. In Virata Parva, we come across this story where they were keeping all their weapons over the cemetery. They tied it, they came down, and then all Agnis scrupulously and religiously they handed over to Dhaumya. Dhaumya took all those things and he was preserving those Agnis until this Agnatavasa was over. And then he handed over these things to these people. This is how we come across this story. The story is because this Mahabharata, even the whatever story that is there in Adi Parva, it is a linkage is there in Virata Parva, again it is there. So again it is maintained. So it was given down like that. The Tretagnis, that is the reason why we are supposed to keep this Tretagni. This is the tradition. But there are even now also there are some people. I have also seen some families wherein they are maintaining this Tretagnis. But because majority of the persons are not seeing, because the elders are not following, because of this reason, the down the line generation will be forgetting the tradition. The traditions are such that sometimes you may be feeling that some traditions, you may be feeling that the particular tradition is not having a lot of scientific significance. You feel because of your own intellect. Then what you should do is that at least you may not be knowing the secret behind that tradition. The science behind the tradition you may not be knowing, but still at the time what is required is that you need to follow that tradition, because maybe your children also will be following. He may be finding the scientific reason in future. That is the idea here. Because whatever traditions we are having over a period of years, 5,000 of years. So sometimes we will be feeling that yes, this tradition is useless. You, according to your intellect, it is useless. That is why in business terminology we will be coming across one thing: don't kill the idea, keep the idea. That is a thing, because there is one company what is called Mahindra company also. There they will be floating some competition. The competition is that anybody can put one idea. Idea bank is created. The idea bank is such that because if you normally regular current terminology, if we tell we follow that as it's a great thing, idea bank. The idea bank will be there. Anybody can just put one idea, random idea, good, bad, whatever it may be. Maybe there are people who are sitting over that particular department, they will be viewing all the ideas. The persons may not be having the intellect and to understand this particular idea. They may feel that this idea is just ignorable. Let us leave the idea, not required like that. They should not throw away the idea. That is the entire thing is like that. So what they have to do is that they have to keep the idea there. When they keep the idea, what will happen? Maybe the next CEO or next great personality, if he comes and he sees the idea, he may be finding it great. He may adopt that particular idea. So that is the reason why they have put the principle: keep the idea, don't kill the idea. Traditions are also like that. There are so many traditions we have, maybe for the last 5,000 years or even prior to that. These ideas, traditions, normally what we do as elders is that we just see the tradition. It may not be liking to you. Just okay, Sandhya Vandan 3 times we need to do. Why three times? One time if we do such as sufficient. Okay, even if we don't do also fine. Or otherwise, what we have to do is that we can just give arghya. That itself is great, because ultimately the king Surya is actually being followed by Mandeha Rakshasas. Then the story goes like that. No, Mandehas will be always chasing Surya. In order to give strength to Surya, we have to give argyam. Okay, give argyam for 3 times. Move on like that. And that is only those type of excuses or those type of avoiding and all these things should be done only when absolutely there is no time for you. That too for exceptional situations, not all the time, please. Traditions are to be followed. Why they should be followed means you don't know the scientific reason behind the tradition. Just because you don't know the reason, your son may not be knowing, your son may be knowing the reason. You need to know like that, and you have to follow the tradition. Here also same thing. Traditions, the Treta Agnis and all this is, we have forgotten the traditions, and because our fathers have not followed, maybe our fathers' fathers have not followed, and again the generations we come across, because for the last 50 years I also observed what has been done by grandfather. Might not have been done by my father or my father. What was doing, I am not doing. Maybe this is the nature, please. So what is happening is that we are slowly and slowly forgetting the traditions. This is a great tradition which we are having. That is why we, at the time of normal tithi will be there. No, there is every Pitru Devatas will be putting the tithi. The tithi is also actually it is a ritual and also a tradition. At the time, what we will be doing is that this Agni is not there for us, because Agni is Vichina has already happened. Every day Vichina for us. So what we do at that time is that Prayaschitta mantra is told, because you can ask your own Purohit who is coming there for doing these functions and all these things. He will be pronouncing 2 mantras. The 2 mantras will be telling that because the Agni, the Treta Agni is not there in my house and Vichina has happened in my house. That is why I am giving this Prayaschitta, I am doing like that, and we will put Annam or the rice, cooked rice, we will be putting into the Agni 8 times, and we will be pronouncing that one. Normally what we do is that the Purohit will be telling his own way, and we will be listening to that, and what we don't understand the mantra also, we don't understand the significance of the mantra also. Just like that, it is also a ritual type of thing, it will be going on. So there, these type of things we need to remember. There are so many things this nature is there on the tithi type. There are sometimes, because our lineage, what you are putting tarpana and all this is, we are giving to parents, father like that. Maybe sometimes there may be a possibility that there may be some sort of may not be for what we are giving tarpana may should have gone to some other person, maybe because of so many reasons, because great grandfather or great grandfather, father, whoever it may be, that person, maybe sometimes some cross or breeding must have happened. So because of this reason, at the time of pronouncing the mantras, we will be giving tarpanas for all those persons also. All these things are there in the mantras which are there in annual tithis also, they are there. So here these things we need to know all these things because the significance of the mantras we should know, and also we should also be following these traditions without forgetting. That is why Avichinna Agni purpose we will be putting this oblations to fire god and move on like that. This is the idea here. Okay, this is Agnis. The Agnis we are supposed to maintain. This is the tradition. Then you are not doing this Agnis, you are not taking the Agnis. This is one reason. The second reason he was giving is that because each and every king supposed to go with the Purohit. What is significance of Purohit? He was also telling again. Why Purohit it is required? Purohit is required because Purohit is a personality who will be guiding you in each and every phase of your life. Before you, Purohit also I have not seen. Purohit, what is a Purohit? Normally we understand. Purohit is what we understand normally is that Pure hitam karoti iti purohitah na. Pure hitam karoti iti purohita. That means that what is meant by Pure means in the village, he will be doing good for the entire people. Pure hitam karoti iti purohitah, like that we tell. Normally the meaning of Purohita is something different. Purohita, he is doing good to the village because of this reason he has become Purohita. Okay, that is fine. But that has to be understood from the different perspective. In Sanskrit, Puraha, Purasar, Puraha means that is front, in your front. Hita means is stationed or placed. Purohita is a person who is placed in the front and leading the king. This is the idea. Any person, any spiritual person who stands in front of you and leading you towards a great destination or for your good purpose or bad purpose, whatever it may be, he will be leading only for the good acts only. That person should be there in the front. The Sangarparana was telling Arjuna, see, Purohita significance is like that. A person, a spiritual person should be there in front of the Kshatriya person. A Kshatriya king alone cannot conquer the entire world. With all his physical strength, with all his physical might, soldiers and all these things he may be having, still he can't conquer all the kingdom, all the world as a whole, or whatever the other country, whatever it may be, he can't conquer unless he is having a spiritual personality in the front. That is more important. Spiritual personality is very important. That is why only we come across this type of stories in Mahabharata at many places. Vishwamitra on one occasion he will be telling, was out of the context I am telling. What he was telling is that he went to Brahma, Shiva, I don't know. He did tapas. He got a blessing that entire Dhanurveda should come to me like that. He asked. The entire Dhanurveda has come to him. Then he came there. He started putting all the arrows one after another like that. Next, all astras, Agneya Astra, Varuna Astra, VYV Astra, Brahma Astra, whatever it may be. All the astras he was putting. Vasishta was sitting there and he was holding this kamandal like that, and he was holding the kamandal, and all the astras coming and reducing into it, one after another, dissolving into the kamandalam. He saw the first time Vishwamitra's aham, that is called ego, got reduced. His ego was negated. He told one thing, Dik Kshatriya Balam, Brahmavalam Balam, like that. He gives a famous statement. Dik Kshatriya Balam means, what is the use of this great strength, physical strength and all this? Is spiritual strength is more important. The spiritual strength is here, is depicted in Purohita. Unless you have that spiritual strength, master is there, you can't move on. That is the idea here. Then take the present example also you take. There is a prime minister is there. For in the one security advisor we are having, Ajit Doval is there, no? Ajit Doval. Ajit Doval is a personality who is designing the entire foreign policy now. He is the person who is giving great of spiritual advices. Go back the history of Ajit Doval, what happened. No, he is a person who went to Pakistan some time back. He was disguised as a Muslim and he was moving in throughout Pakistan for almost 12 years. He wandered like that, understanding each and every aspects of this how society was, how it is there. Because that type of person, when he comes back to India, he knows what is happening in our neighboring country, and if they are going to attack us, what are their weaknesses, vulnerable points, and all these things. He knows it because by virtue of his, he did a tapas only. Ajit Doval. Tapas is what is tapas? Tapas is ultimately concentrating on particular object. He concentrated on the object of understanding the people of Pakistan, government, and all this. He spent for 12 years almost there in disguise and came back here. Ajit Doval, he is a security advisor for Prime Minister of India now. So he is a Purohit. In a modern terminology, we can call him as a Purohit. So here also same thing. Purohit is a person who should be there in the front. So this is, we come across in history also, we come across great warriors, achieved greatness by virtue of the strength that is there before them. That is called Purohit. To take the example of Vijayanagara kingdom, Vidyaranya was there. He was the architect who designed the entire kingdom, established the kingdom, handed over the kingdom to Harihara and Bukka, and they started the kingdom. We know the history. And again, Shivaji, great guru, is there. He was always the guiding star for him. That is there. And Chandragupta Maurya was there. He was having Kautilya was there. He was in the front and he was leading the entire kingdom. And he was a spiritual personality. At the same time, he was not willing to exercise the entire powers. The powers are kings are there. Always it is there. But when necessity comes, he is there. Nanda kings are there. Rakshasa was there, the Mantri. This is like that from down the line, we are having great Prithviraj also, Prithviraj Chauhan also. I think there is one personality is there. I don't remember the name. Here, all these persons up till Shivaji, we were having this tradition is there. The tradition has been followed for the long times. It is there. The tradition is by Purohita. What is the quality? What are the qualities of Purohita? And again, Purohita doesn't mean that any Brahmin in the sense now. We should not denigrate those persons. Also, thing is that here any person who comes there, see the Panchanga and give you a titi, he is not supposed to be the Purohit. Purohit is having certain qualities, please. The qualities I will just read out in Mahabharata also. What he is telling is that on Mahabharata there is a beautiful shloka is there. I will just read out. And if that is there, then only you are a great person. Vede षडंगे निरताः शुचयः सत्यवादिनः धर्मात्मानः कृतात्मनः स्युर्नृपाणां पुरोहिताः. Vede षडंगे निरताः. He is expert in Vedas and also Vedangas. Vedangas we are having 6 Vedangas we are having. What is that is Vedangas also he should be there. And then he should be Vede षडंगे निरताः शुचयः satyavadinah. Dharmatmanah, he should be always telling the truth only. He should be adherent towards the truth. He was Satyavadi. He is a Dharma Swarupa. He is a Jitendriya. This type of personality he should have. That is the idea here. Jayasya niyato ragnaha swargasya tadanantram yasyasya dharmavid vagmi purodha shilavan shuchihi. These are the qualities. Normally, there are some if you come across any person who is having loose talk, you are not supposed to employ that person as a Purohit. A Purohit should be a person who is having the equanimity of mind, Dharma Nirata, Sachilata, Saushilata, and all these characters should be there. And also, he should be having the great knowledge in Vedas and Vedangas. He should be having the knowledge. Vedanga, Shiksha, Vyakarana, Chandasu, Niruktam, like that. Two more things are there. These Vedangas also, he should be an expert because Vedangas are the things from which you can understand Vedas. Otherwise, you don't understand the purport of Vedas. So here, the Purohit qualities also he has mentioned. Nagaraja has defined. Nagaraja has defined means Mahabharata has defined the qualities of a Purohit. You need to see before electing a Purohit, it is like electing the Guru also. Vedanta will be coming across. Shishya also will be searching for a Guru who can teach him. Because not any Guru you can't go. That is also there. Like Guru, how he will be searching for a Shishya. Shishya also should search for a competent Guru only he should search and then only he should go to him. Like our Google present day, a lot of information will be there available in the net. Which information you need to take? That is more important. No? That is why information overload what we are getting is that sometimes we are losing knowledge. In the losing of knowledge, we will be forgetting wisdom. That is why only there is a great quotation, T.S. Eliot quotation is there. Out of them I am telling here. What is the knowledge we have lost in information? What is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? And what is the life we have? What is the life we have lost in living? Like that, he will be telling. T.S. Eliot, you believe it or not, there are some poets in the particularly that's romantic poetry in English literature we call. At that time, there are some persons who have come to India, understood the entire our Vedic scriptures, knowledge, Upanishads, and all these things. They went back and they tried to apply in their own poems and all these things. T.S. Eliot, Keats, and all these persons. So we come across this type of descriptions. Eliot, particularly. Eliot, it is a famous quotation. What is the life we have lost in living? Here, Purohit is like that. This is qualities of Purohit you need to see like that. Qualities of Purohit are very, very important. You can't just like that elect a Purohit. And this is one thing he was telling. Then he was also telling, because of this, Sandhya Samaya is there, Vedagnes you don't have. Competent Purohit also, not even Purohit you don't have. Puraha Hitaha, that is person who is leading you from the front, that person is not there. That is the reason I attacked you. But still you won. Why you have won? Again he will be telling one reason, please. Why you have won? But normally if all this is there, you are not supposed to win. But you have won here because you are established in Brahmacharya. Established in Brahmacharya you are there. All of you are established in Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, again the definition here he will be giving. Brahmacharya is normally, we will be understanding Brahmacharya from the perspective of married, not married. It's not like that. A married person is not Brahmachari. Unmarried person is Brahmachari. Not like that. Brahmani Charati. The person whose mind is always dwelling in the Atma Paramatma Bhava, Atma, Brahma. The person whose mind is Charati means it will be moving like that. In Brahman, that person is called Brahmachari. So you are the person who are, because that whose mind will be doing like that, a person who is having great Saushilata, Sachilata, Dharmanirata, Dharmanishta, that type of person only this will be there. All other persons we can't find all these things. Even while giving this astras, shastras and all this is also very, very frequently Drona will be telling. Because you are having these all qualities, virtues you are having. When all these qualities are there, Shama, Dhamma, Indriya, Nigraha and all these things, Shama, the Shatka Sampatti, they call it in Vedanta. If you are having those type of qualities, then only you are an adhikari for receiving any knowledge. Otherwise, you are not an adhikari. That type of adhikari, normally what will happen? He will be having some sort of chitta shuddhi, he is already having. He will be doing some sort of nishkama karma, he will be doing. He will be doing some upasana, he will be doing. And he has reached to a stage where he can attain Brahmagnana. And then he will be attaining the Brahmagnana. That Brahmagnana sthiti, the person who is there in this Brahma Charati, that person is a Brahmachari. You are established in that great virtue. Brahmacharya, the greatness of Brahmacharya is that if you are in that situation, state of mind, you will be having the great spiritual aura around you. When the spiritual aura is there, you will be respected in the society. Majority of the persons nowadays are not being respected in the society because people will blame you. You are the bad caste, bad. All this is because the spiritual aura, majority of the people are missing nowadays. If you are still holding that spiritual aura, what will happen is that people will come and respect you. The spiritual aura should be always there. You should maintain that spiritual aura. And because for that, what you should do is that Dharmanishta is more important. Dharmanishta, Satyavak Paripalana, all these things are very, very important. You are following all these things. Because of this reason, you could win over me. That is the idea, Chitra. This is Angaraparna was giving to Arjuna. Arjuna was very happy with the talk with this person, and he was telling, yes, I understand. Dharmaraja also agreed, yes, what he is telling is a lot of meaning is there. It is about thing. Let us find one good Purohita now, immediately. Then they only ask Angaraparna, you suggest one personality who can become one good Purohita for us. Because you know us, because you are my friend. Because of this reason, we are asking you. Then he suggested the name of Dhaumya. One personality is there. He gives some place. This is the place in Himalaya, some place, some particular spot of the place. Those are immaterial. There he is there. You go and approach him. Immediately they go there. They talk to him, and Dhaumya agreed. Dhaumya became the Purohit. And you believe it or not, Dhaumya is the person who conducts the marriage of Pandava subsequently in the Maharaja's Asthana. He is a person who is holding the Agnis of Pandava subsequently when they went in Agnatavasa. And he was the person who tell Pandavas the Sevaka Vritti. Sevaka Vritti means how a servant has to behave in the place of a king. That is actually, it can be applied because there's a great chapter is there in Mahabharata, wherein he will be giving so many principles. What is the nature of your boss and how you should be, when you are working for a current terminology, if you take into consideration, if you are working for an office, how you should behave with the boss and how, what is the mentality of the boss and how you should behave. Sevaka Vritti. Sevaka Vritti Dharma, like that one chapter itself is there. That is, he was telling all these things that Dhaumya tells all these advices he will be giving. Subsequently, when they go back and come back, and then he is giving the advice of when to go for war, when not to go for war, and how to build the Achohinis, and all these things he will be giving. Ultimately, even after the entire war, Dhaumya was a personality who gave oblation, what is called Tarpanas, for all the departed souls, including all the Bhishma, Drona, and all these persons. When Pandavas were giving their oblations, he was a person who was standing before all these persons and he was guiding Pandavas. That is a Purohita. The greatness of Purohita is like that. Vasishta was a Purohita of Rama, Dasharatha, and all these persons. So you come across this type of stories in our lineage. That is the reason why we need to have a Purohita, we need to have Tretagnis, and these are the things we should learn from this story. And then Brahmacharya Nishta. And the Brahmacharya Nishta is, even though you are a married person also, you can follow Brahmacharya. Unmarried man also, you need to follow Brahmacharya. This is the idea that is given by Mahabharata. Time I will see, just if time is permits, I will be going to some other stories. This is one story. Then here, we saw the Agni story we saw. Then the Agni story, great Agni story, we come across in 3-4 places in Mahabharata again. And only one story only I would like to call upon today. That is called the story of Chavana Maharshi. And the Chavana Maharshi story is also a great story. Here, as I told you in the first lecture, I was telling that Shaunaka Maharshi was asking that Roma Harshana, he wanted to test Roma Harshana initially because Roma Harshana is an Ugrashrava come to tell the story of Mahabharata. All people, all 10,000 disciples were willing to listen the story of great Mahabharata. But still, Shaunaka tells, yes, you tell us the story of Bhrigu Vamsha Charitra. Because Bhrigu Vamsha Charitra, he knows that Bhrigu Vamsha Charitra because he belongs to the same lineage. And then he asks, then Roma started the story. And the story, the first story comes at the part what we can call Puloma story, we come across in Mahabharata. Puloma and Bhrigu. This story we come across initially he started telling anyway that who is telling and all these things. Why I am telling repeatedly is that who actually propagated Mahabharata to the entire world as a whole is this Ugrashrava Shuta. Here, Bhrigu Maharshi, his wife was Puloma. Puloma, they married Agnisakshi. According to Agnisakshi, the marriage took place. And subsequently, on one day, Bhrigu went out for taking bath outside. At that time, Puloma was pregnant. There is one Rakshasa by name Puloma. His name is also Puloma. He comes to that place. And he was going around and around the house. Bhrigu is not there. Bhrigu's wife is there inside. She is a beautiful lady. And who is Bhrigu again? Bhrigu is a direct son of Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, they tell. Brahma has created Bhrigu in the fire of what is called the homa that is being done by Varuna. The story is there again, big story is there again. We need not go into that story. So he is actually a son of Brahma Deva, we can tell. Not directly Brahma, because Chaturmukha Brahma, he will be creating like that. So many persons he will be creating directly. That person is one of the persons, is Bhrigu Maharshi. The Bhrigu Maharshi was not there at that time. And this man was wandering, this Rakshasa was wandering in and around. He found Puloma, a grown-up lady. By the time she was actually pregnant, and he saw that beautiful lady. And what happened earlier was that maybe that lady was very young. That is called very child. She was a child. Always she was weeping, and she was making a lot of disturbance to her father, Puloma. So what happened is that father was always telling, "Hey, see that Rakshasa will come and take you. Don't shout." This was the thing he was telling. So at the time, this Pulama Rakshasa was also there in and around. Whenever this father tells like that, he was feeling in his mind, yes, this girl belongs to me. When she is grown up, she is my wife. Like that, he was thinking like that. Because the father only is telling, no, father is actually, he is responsible over the destinies of his daughter. Because she is still a child. And then he was telling, you will be taken away by the Rakshasa if you shout like that. Then the girl used to keep quiet because the fear of the Rakshasa. The Rakshasa was really there in and around, and he was feeling that this girl one day or other day she belongs to me. After some days he went out, the Rakshasa went out. After so many days he has come here now. Now this girl has grown up, married to Bhrigu Maharshi, and she is now pregnant. Then this lady is my lady only. Because it is already given by her father by virtue of his word he has already given. So he wanted to know whether she is my girl or any other person's girl. That was the thing. So whom he should ask? Nobody was there. Then why the Agni is important? Agni's importance I am telling here. Because Agni is a person. We are having all Panchaputas we are having. Normally, in most of the places, we will be telling Panchaputa Sakshi like that. We will be telling. Still, Agni is given more importance all the time, because Agni will be Prajwalata. Agni will be there in the house of each and every person. Treta Agni was there in Bhrigu Maharshi ashram also. And I forgot to tell you, because the Treta Agni also, how to position the Treta Agnis and all this is also discussed in Manudharma Shastra, where exactly west what should be kept and east what should be kept. Like that, some rules regulations are there that we need to go deep. Then we need to keep all those things. And like that, all the Agnis were resplendent. They were there. Agni is the Sakshi Bhuta for all good bad things that are happening in the world. So this man, Puloma comes and he was asking the Agni, tell me, Agni, you are a Satshilata person. You are the person who always tell truth. Tell me now, this girl belongs to me or this girl belongs to some other person? Tell me. If this girl belongs to me, I would like to take her. Then Agni, what he should do? Agni was in a dilemma. If he tells the truth, what will happen? This Puloma will elope with Puloma. Lady's name is also Puloma, Rakshasa name is also Puloma. He will elope. He will take away. Then what will happen? Bhrigu will come and curse him. If he does not tell truth, what will happen? He is actually Dharma Nirata. He has to tell the truth only. If he doesn't tell, he is not living also. Again and again, continuously he is asking. He has to tell something. Then he wanted to follow the truth only. Yes, he told the truth, and also very frankly, he will be telling, yes, this is the lady whom her lady's father was telling when her childhood that girl will be eloped, will be taken away by the Rakshasa unless she keeps quiet. And she was keeping quiet. That same girl has grown up now here like that. But this girl was given in marriage to Bhrigu Maharshi in my presence only, according to the scriptural religious practices only. That is, marriage has taken place with all mantras and all these things. It has taken place. So that is why she belongs to Bhrigu Maharshi, because he is married according to the scriptures. Marriage should be happen according to the scriptures, please. That is also there. Marriage, or for that matter, any ritual has to happen according to the scripture. Sometimes we will be avoiding all these things. I have seen them, some people. He has put garland over to her and she has put garland over him. That is not considered as a marriage unless there is a ritual of this mantra should be there. Mantra is having the value, no, that is there. You say a similar thing with regard to Pitru Tarpanas also. I have seen many persons will be telling, Because in the when we are giving the tithi, we are performing the tithi, they will be telling, yes, we have to perform the tithi. And because you don't have fine time, you don't have time to do all this ritual once in a year. Also, you cannot spend your time over your father and mother who have given you birth and who have brought you up and all these things. We forget all those. One day also, we can't spend so much busy life. So what you do is that I have given some donation to Anath Ashrama where I have fed 10 people. That's great. You feel like that. That is not at all great place. What I tell you is that the mantra has a value. Because unless the mantra is there, because it is handed over. As I told you earlier, if you don't understand the mantra, leave it. At least pass on the tradition. If you pass on the tradition, there may be your son may understand the significance of the mantra, and then he may give the scientific reason for it. Don't dispel with it. That is the idea here. So here is that the people will be doing like that. There are many the Pitur Karyas are being done like that. We don't have time. That is why we have done it. A simple function we have done it. And then Brahmanas are also not called for all these things. Whether you like it or not like it, you need to follow it, because each and every mantra has its value, significance, and all these things are there. Oblations we are giving to Lord Surya at the time of Sandhya Vandana means you need to do it with all this sincerity only. You should do it. Otherwise, then there is no meaning, and there is no meaning for any ritual. Ritual is also very much important, because Vedas, if you take into consideration, some people will be telling Vedanta is important. Yes, Vedanta is important. But 90% of the Vedas are mentioned for this doing kratus, yajnas, yagas, and all these things are there. You need to do that also, because the tradition has to be followed. If something is not followed, what will happen? We will forget it. That is the idea. Anyway, deviation. Here, the king is that here he is telling that he will be asking the Agni tells the truth. This is the truth. Then immediately what happened is that this Puloma assumed the form of a Varaha, great boar. Then he just caught hold of her and he wanted to elope. He was moving out. At the time, the boy that was there in the womb of that Puloma, he was actually so great personality, so ferocious, and he just came out of the womb of Puloma. Because Chavanadu means Chuti, the person who got Chuti from the womb of her mother, that is why he is called Chavana. When the person came down, he just gazed at the Rakshasa. The very gaze has scorched him into fires and put him into ashes. She was rescued. And anyway, subsequent story is there. That lady immediately took the baby and she went to the place of Brahmadeva, because he happened to be a father-in-law. And he was continuously weeping. When he was continuously weeping for his plight at that time, Brahmadeva saw her. And then immediately the water that was coming out of her tears, the tears that were coming out of her ears, followed her continuously. It anusarati. It went on along with her. So that is the reason why it became a river. So immediately he named it as Vadhusara. Story is there. Anyway, the story is immaterial for us. The Vadhusara river, he named it. Consoled her. Then he called Bhrigu also. Bhrigu also came down, and Bhrigu was in the company of Brahmadeva at that time. And then he took the wife, because it is not the mistake of the wife, it is the mistake of her father in the earlier childhood. And then anyway, Bhrigu wanted to inquire, then who told about your identity to a Puloma? Tell me like that. Then she tells, yes. When I was in that situation, that Puloma one Rakshasa came, because my father was telling like that earlier. In my childhood, I was doing like that. So this man came and he eloped me, because this the person who told is Agni. Then immediately Bhrigu got wild and he cursed Agni. You become Sarvabhakshaka, like that he tells. Sarvabhakshaka means you will be eating all things, you will be eating from now onwards. And all things means what is the significance of all things? Significance is that you will be eating the even Malamutradi Vastugalu, and what all those things also you will be eating, and good, bad, virtuous, non-virtuous, pious, non-pious, and all these things you have to eat. Because anything that is put into fire is burnt. So you will be like that. Sarva Bhatchaka, you become like that. He cursed him. Then Agni, actually, he was very depressed, because what I did, what was my, what mistake I have done? Because someone is asking continuously that, tell me the truth, and I told the truth. By telling the truth, should I get this curse? No, then I don't want to eat all bad things. So if I am there in the world, then I will be eating. Time is over.
Yeah, we will have question answer after.
Yes, 2-3 minutes I will complete, sir. And then he was telling, okay, then in that case, what I will be doing is that I will be with, if I am there in the world, then only all the problems come, sir. Because I have to eat all these things, sir. Then now what I will be doing is that I will be withdrawing my resplendence from each and every house. The Tretagnis, I will be coming out like that. He comes out. He withdraws all his energies. In the no house there was Tretagni. Tretagni was not there. No Yajna was there. No Havis was there. All Devatas take their Havis through the mouth of Agni only. And the Devatas were not affected. And there was entire thing, the entire social order was disrupted. When the social order was disrupted, everybody approached Brahmadeva, and Brahmadeva again called this Agni Deva and asked him, you are not supposed to do like that. And I will give you a boon that by means of which whatever bad things which you consume are from the Apana area, that Agni will be eating that one. All other Agnis are actually will be doing the great purposes only. Will be doing one Agni for the purpose of Pitru Karyas, one Agni for the purpose of Devakaryas, one Agni for the purpose of scorching. Like that, he divided Agni into different ways he will be dividing, and some each Agni was giving. Each Agni was only one form, flames, different flames at different places will be doing the Karyas, this Agni Karyas that will be doing. You will become Sarvabhashaka, and here afterwards I also giving you the boon that whatever that is put on the fire will become a sacred one. Like that. That is the reason why when Sri Ramachandra asked Sita to go the ordeal of fire, means the idea is like that. Because the idea is that whatever that is put in the fire and coming out of the fire means that is Saushilyata, they can prove. That is of course, that is a different way. And that is Agni's greatness, please. So this is Agni, of course, some other things about Agni are there. Anyway, now we can, what I told the entire lecture is that about the importance of Purohita I told, the importance of Brahmacharya I told, and the importance of what we can call Purohita, and then Tretagnis, and then Brahmacharya, and then also one more thing is that the tradition of what we can call naming of the persons, whatever names we are giving the naming also, we are not supposed to give the names of Rakshasas, and also at the same time while scolding the children also, please remember that we are not supposed to tell that there is something is coming, the Rakshasa is coming, somebody is coming, bad things don't tell. You tell, even if you want to tell, Indra will come and take you, or the Varuna will come and he will frighten you. Something of that nature, if you tell, what will happen is that at least some sort of culture will be. Because why we are telling is that, and one TV serial sometime back, 3 years back or 4 years back, I was seeing, there was one lady who was actually taking care of the small children. That lady was in the course of time, she wanted to tell a story. No story she could tell because she doesn't know the story. She was telling that Gabbar Singh story he was telling. Why to tell the Gabbar Singh story here? Don't tell Gabbar Singh story. Tell the story of great personality only. Tell. And all the time, whenever, even if you want to scold a child, also scold a child that somebody good will be, a good person only will be coming like that. Here, that is why only we are having that tradition even now also. That is what we can. Whatever we tell, that will happen. There's some devatas they could tell. I immediately could not recollect. Those persons will be there. They will be there all the time. They will be telling that yes, astu.
Tadastu Devata.
Tadastu Devataru. Tadastu Devatas are there. The tradition is even now we are having Tadastu Devatas. So that is the reason why this Puloma story tells us that the Tadastu Devatas, why follow the tradition is that even now also Tadastu Devatas we believe. Don't tell good bad thing because the bad vibes, bad currents should not come in the house. All the time be in positive thoughts only. Positive thoughts are there. They will also be telling Tadastu like that. They will be telling that will be good for you. This is the idea that has been given down from the traditions of Mahabharata times. That is why today I want to reflect only on traditions and all this. That is why I selected these two stories. Other many stories with regard to traditions are there. Why we go to Shami Vrusha at the time of Vijayadashami. These type of things, many are there in Mahabharata. And two or three things only I have touched upon. And because story also, unless I tell the story, this import of this message cannot go. This is the idea. Anyway, now after discussing all these things, I will leave for questions and answers, please.
Lalita ji, what do you want to ask? Lalita ji, what do you want to ask?
No, I have no question. Sorry, it has been this one. I'll
Okay. Shankaraya garu?
Unmute. Okay. My question is the Sarva Bhakshaka, where it is said it is a Bhrigu Maharshi on Agni, but
Yes.
somewhere the story talks about Parvati Shepinchutundannatuga ekkado chadivinattu gurtu.
That is there in one of the Puranas. I also heard it, sir. This is one of the Puranas. But anyway, now I am restricting my lecture to what is called
Mahabharata.
Mahabharata. That is why I also saw it. Yesterday also I saw it actually.
కుమార
Okay.
సంభవంలో
కుమార
కాళిదాస్
సంభవం.
చెప్తాడు సార్, అది తప్పు.
పురాణిక
కుమార సంభవంలో కాళిదాస్ చెప్తాడు కానీ అది
Sarvabhashakato. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Sarva Bhakshaka. Okay, sir. Thank you.
It is a Puranic story, sir. Puranic story, and of
Yeah.
course, as you told, maybe it is there in
Right.
Kalidas also.
Thank you.
You have a good idea, sir. I don't have the good idea over it.
Okay, Gupta garu.
Namaskar Mahodaya.
Namaskaram, sir.
The story, I mean, it is beyond my comprehension with my present intellect. How do you correlate it with the present day intellect?
Which one, sir?
Unbelievable things.
Huh?
There are so many unbelievable things
Unbelievable. Okay.
for the present day intellect.
What are those unbelievable things?
Now, for example, just because somebody scolds, Rakshasa may elope with you. He did not say he will definitely elope with you, but he said he may elope, and she stopped. But still, why Rakshasa will have authority to elope her?
May allow is not there, sir. He will take you. He will come and take you. Will only, not may.
But she stopped the noise, so it should not have effect.
No, because while giving some sort of fear also you should inculcate the fear. The fear also should not be on the basis of some wrong thing. That is the idea here. The fear should have some basis. You know? The basis is actually you tell good thing only. Something happened because you should not invoke some Rakshasa at the time and tell that the Rakshasa will come and take you. If you tell like that, maybe as I told, that is Tadastu Devatas. Tadastu Devatas will be always there. They will be telling yes, yes only they will be telling. That is the idea. Unbelievable means here, the thing is that, sir, there are certain things which normally we can't perceive. What we cannot perceive, we can't say that it is not there. Because even Vedanta also we tell that there are 6 types of pramanas are there, we will be telling. Pratyaksha pramana, all the things you can't rely on Pratyaksha pramana. Inferences are there. There are certain other things which you can't even comprehend also. That is also there. Yesterday we were seeing a story of Ekalavya story we come across. There Murti Puja is there. He was just putting the Dronacharya in front, Dronacharya Pratima in front, and he was practicing. How he learnt it? How he learnt it is that Upasana Balam is there. Because we are not doing, we don't know it. Because if you practice it, I don't know whether it happens to you also. There are some persons who continuously doing upasana, and by virtue of which they will be getting great spiritual powers they will be getting. Maybe here also same thing. Why we can't say that? Because why we should get only positive vibes only, try to get positive vibes only. If you begin to get some negative things, if you think negative vibes may come to you and maybe they disturb the peace of mind. That is the reason why normally even many stories also we come across. There are certain personalities in Mahabhagavata particularly. They were doing all bad things throughout the life. At the time of the death, they will be telling Narayana, Narayana. He called his son only. When he called his son only, what happened is that Narayana only came there and he rescued him like that. Some stories said this is not actually Narayana coming and rescuing him. It is not like that. We should not understand in that fashion. Because you do all bad things in the life. And at the end of the life, because you call your son Narayana, please come here, then that has rescued him. It is not like that. That is Arthavada stories. You need to understand the story from the perspective that At least at the end of the life, if you want to tell Narayana means throughout your life, you should be telling the name only, you will be pronouncing, you will be upasana, you should be doing like that. The upasana balam is like that. Here also same thing. There are some unseen things will be there in and around. All unseen things and all these things we have not contemplated so far. If you contemplate on those things, maybe those things also may be present. Because in Mahabharata, Ramayana, whatever it may be, each and every story we come across that each and every object is having a Adhisthana Devata. Why Shakuni won the entire game? Why Dharmaraja could not even put one dice also? Because whatever that Shakuni is telling is happening. Because that is, people tell that that is because of the Adhisthana Devata. Some Shudra Devata, he was actually following that Shudra Devata. Aradhana he was doing without seeing by the eyes and all these things. And by virtue of which he got some powers. The powers, the thing is that normally when we do certain objects and analysis and all these things, what we do is that because we can't believe it, it is not believable like that. Have we tried to understand it for a reasonable number of years? I was having a good professor I was having earlier. I tell you one example that he was telling there is nothing, nonsense is there in Bhagavad Gita. Then I asked him only one question only. I asked, sir, you are telling that there is nothing is there in Mahabharata, that is Bhagavad Gita. Tell me how many years you have spent over Mahabharata. I studied it for 4 hours, he told. For teaching MBA students, how many hours you are spending? He told 22 years. That is 22 years he has studied management lessons, and then he was teaching to the students. 22 years of long standing devotion to management subjects only equipped him with the knowledge of teaching to the students. But 4 hours of learning of Gita, how can it say that it is nothing is there inside? So here also, when we tell that this is unbelievable, what we can do is that how many hours or how many years we have spent to understand the unseen figures, spiritual forces and all these things. Have we done any upasana? Have we seen anything like that? And if we see all these things, sir, what I believe is that your question may be correct still. If you have to spend some time, you have to sit over it, then you have to meditate and try to understand the forces. Then if you say that it is unbelievable, there is some meaning is there. And even then also there are so many persons have done it like that earlier, and they have also done with their own experiences and all those things also. We need to understand from all those things. Then what will happen is that sometimes we may be getting that thoughts, the vibes may come to you also, you may for all of us it may come, and then we may understand the unseen forces behind all these things. That is only my submission. Beyond that, what I can tell.
Yes, sir. Dinsha, Captain Dinsha.
Good morning, Guruji. I was, of course, I give reason to everything. So I'm just trying to understand the significance of Tretagni. I mean, if anything you can tell me, or maybe just though it is, I have heard this concept today. I was not knowing about it. But certainly I do try to find reasons, and also I don't restrict that if I don't have the reason, the thing is not right. So if you can help me in understanding that.
Tretagni is actually, madam, this is the tradition that has been followed over a period of years. Until maybe up until 18th century also people tell that each and every house used to be having this Tretagni. Tretagni, they used to maintain the Tretagnis. Tretagnis are supposed to give the spiritual powers that it is there. That because Agni is a Sakshi Bhuta for all our karmas. And one more important thing is that if Agni is there in your presence, normally it is some physical form, it is appearing before you. When it is appearing in the physical form, it is resplendent with all splendor, glory, and all these things with flames and all these things. In the presence of it, you normally what will happen is that our mind will not don't want to do certain bad things in the presence of Agni, because it is like a camera. It will be watching each and every
Right.
movement of you. When it is watching each and every movement of you, you fear to do certain things. That is called some sort of spiritual restriction will be there over you. I can tell you, suppose you in the present sense, if you tell if you are having a camera and if you are having a mobile phone, want to watch some bad things, something of that nature, and you can't do it in puja room, no? We can't do it. Just because we still feel that even though the God is there everywhere, even though we believe it, in the puja room we will be feeling that it is more God thing is there like that. There is something is there in the mind. If we go to temple, we will be seeing something
Wise
there,
place.
something of that nature. Here also same thing. Retagni is there in the very house. What will happen is that you will be having the feeling that yes, this Retagni is there. Maybe some good thing only we should do. Let us bad things we should not entertain. Let us not talk bad things. Good things only we do. Maybe this is the reason why from the beginning onwards, from the origin of this Sanatana Dharma, from the maybe long years also, the tradition was continuously being practiced only to give some sort of spiritual dictum to the generations of the people that you are supposed to follow certain basic principles, dharma and all these things. And that is the reason why all these things are developed. And one great personality by name Napoleon Bonaparte was telling on one occasion that even if there is no religion in the world, you need to invent a religion. Why? Because if you the religion should be there. Religion is a force by means of which every person will be following certain good principles. Because every person suddenly cannot become what we can call spiritual person. I am a spiritual person, not a religious person. People will be telling. But thing is that here religion is actually elementary level and also graduation level. Beyond that, the post-graduation, post-graduation level is what we can call this spirituality and all this. Spirituality emanates only after seeing all these things, after practicing all these karmic things and all these things. Then even Bhagavad Gita also we tell that Karma Yoga is very much essential because Karma Yoga is essential for the purpose of attaining Chitta Shuddhi. By means of Chitta Shuddhi, what will happen is that Nishkama Karma, when you can do Nishkama Karma only any good thing you are doing. You will think that it is actually it is Bhagavad Arpanam. It is in the for the sake of the God I am doing or Loka Sangraha. For the purpose of the society as a whole, I am doing this activity. It's not for me and it is not being done by me. It is not my greatness. What will happen is that at that time you will be having some humility in your mind. You will be humble, so humble that whatever great things are happening because something great has happened in the office means it is not because of me. Because even if I am not there, some other person will do it. It is I am also only a person at the time, a situation. I am given the opportunity by the God to do this great act. In that way, if everybody thinks like that, what will happen is that the heart of humbleness will happen in the society. Ego will be negated, and you will be doing Nishkama Karma by virtue of which what will happen is that you will be getting the Chitta Shuddhi. By means of Chitta Shuddhi, what you will be doing is that you are eligible for doing Upasana or you will be doing for Bhakti and all these things. Spirituality will normally sprout from all these things. That is why Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and all these things are sequentially told in Bhagavad Gita. So this is here, the Agni is also significance. That's a spiritual aura, it will be there. It will be giving
Right.
some parts of spiritual energy will be there, and it is that is the reason why in all the religions, normally Jains, Buddhists, and all these persons, they venerate Agni, not Buddhists, Jains particularly. Agni is without Agni they don't move. And Agni for each and every karya, you believe it or not, for doing some Agni karya, wife should be there. That is also there again. They will be telling without wife, no person is allowed to do it because it is together Gruhastha. Both persons should do it. And the lighting of that Agni, Prajwalana purpose, only wife has to come and she has to do the first fire. And then from that fire, you need to do all that karya you have to do. Rama
Right.
story, that is the reason, madam. That is Agni has significance, madam. That is the idea.
Just for my understanding, one is for father, one is for guru, and the middle one is for
Mother.
mother. Okay.
Mother,
Okay.
mother.
Thank you so much for answering.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, let us Mahalakshmi.
Yeah. So namaste, Rao garu. Just one question, or the thought. Agni was asked the question, does she belong to me? Was the question which Polami Rakshasa was asking. Then he was like, though it was said like that, in my presence, she was married to Bhrigu. So Bhrigu's wife is what Agni has said. So why did he get the curse? Because he told correct only, right? Maybe if I missed something.
That is why only Brahmadeva also acknowledged it. Because what you have told is exactly correct only. Because you are supposed to tell the truth, you have told the truth. But Bhrigu got wild. That is a different story. Because we can't prevent Bhrigu from getting anger. He got angry. Because he is also lost his intellect, maybe. He lost his intellect. He should not have cursed Agni. He cursed Agni. That is the
Because
reason.
Agni said that she belongs to Bhrigu only because she is married.
He told he is married only. But he was also telling that this is the same girl whom your father was referring all the time, that she belongs to Rakshasa. That also he told.
Okay, that information.
Information, leaking of information is there. No, not leaking, actually the giving of that information that incited Bhrigu. He got
Okay,
it.
but Ptolemy, but if I understand, you said that Ptolemy, after some time he came there, and no, he thought that she belonged to him. That's why he questioned. That
He questioned.
he knows that she is the girl, no?
Because she has grown up, no? Because that Puloma Rakshasa has seen this girl when she was a child. Now
Okay,
she has grown up.
he
He
just
wanted to establish.
reconfirmed whether.
He wanted to reconfirm. He wanted to reconfirm whether the same girl has grown up and now they in the present status or some other lady. That was
Okay, okay, yeah, got it. Thank you.
very good story, madam. Adi Parva, very few stories afterwards only this we come across. You
Yes.
find time you read the original version. This is a very great story. With a lot of elaboration is also there in the story. Yes, madam. Description of Agni is there. If you want to understand Agni, a lot of description about Agni is there. And if you want to still understand Agni, much more means you need to go to Skanda, the birth of Kumaraswamy. One more story is there. That is there in Manaparva. We come across the story. There are also a lot of mentioning about Agni, the importance of Agni, the varieties of Agni, and all these things are discussed in Mahabharata. Then that particular spot, Vanaparva, Skanda, birth of Skanda. That place also you come across a lot of shlokas about Agni Deva. It is there. And then
Kumara Sambhavam. Kumara Sambhavam.
Kumara Sambhavam. Kumara Sambhavam is a title. In the Kumara Sambhavam also we come across where birth of Kumara Swami or Murugan, now what we can call, it is discussed. Then also we come across a lot of discussion on Agni. Agni is
So
important.
sorry if I just ask one thing. So Skanda Parva means I thought it is Kumara Sambhavam, but Skanda Parva, is there anything in Mahabharata? If I
the story of Skanda is there, madam. Story of Skanda is there in Mahabharata. How Kumaraswamy was born and all these things it is there. And that too in 3-4 chapters it is there. Very big story. Very big story means it is so big that it may be running to maybe some more than 600 shlokas, something of that nature. It is there. I have written an article also over it, Skanda. It is there. It is in my blog also. It is there. Yes, madam.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Arun Kumari ji.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, madam.
Sir, if I'm not, means I'm sorry to ask you, which Mahabharata written by whom we have to study to know all these stories? What you are telling now?
Always
Author.
Author is Veda is always better, madam. Veda book only it is better. But normally we are all not comfortable with the Sanskrit. That is why my advice is that you take Mahabharata of Veda only, and then any good translation of your regional language. And if you are, I believe by saying your name, you may be a Telugu person. If you are a Telugu person, you can go for Gita Press.
Gita Press.
Gita Press, we are having books. And we are having 8 volumes of the books of this nature. This is the one I will be showing.
8 volumes, sir.
8 volumes we are having Adi Parva.
Okay.
It is there. And it is very cheap also, some 2,300 rupees, something like that. It is there.
No issue of amount, sir, but only thing is I'm immersed by your lecture, sir. So I wanted to buy books and read so that we will gain knowledge now at least.
Yes, from the beginning to the end, if you get to read, life will be reformed to the extent I can. Because not that our life is not reformed now, It's already reformed, mature only, but still.
No, still there is lot to learn, no, sir.
Lot of insights in different aspects.
Yeah, lot to learn. At least we can make our children now from now at least.
एक्सपीरियंस इंसान हो नहीं वैसे इस चीज में कुछ
बात
Yeah.
एक्सपीरियंस इंसान की नहीं है, बात ये है कि
Really,
मेरी
this
जिंदगी
course is also good. Your
ज्यादातर
lectures are very good. Thank you very much, sir.
नहीं, वो नहीं मैं कह रही, मैं
Okay, now there is some background noise, that's why I muted some.
No, thank you, sir. No issues.
Okay, let us now, sir, shall we do Prarthana and close?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ananthanji, would you like to, can you please do chant Prarthana? I think you are muted or what? You are muted. I'll try to.
I have unmuted him.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्याय्येन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अदनाः सदनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतम् सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
Dhanyawada. Let us do Janagana Mana. Prakash ji.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तव जय गादा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद
Jai Hind. ధన్యవాదములండి.
ధన్యవాదాలు
That is stop record.
ధన్యవాదాలు గురువు గారు అందరికి.